Hello again, it's Eric, and I'm back in the backcountry as ever. This time it's a personal trip with a special guest,
Oh,
a certain
hi.
Erin.
I'm Erin.
It's her first ever backpacking trip, first time in Tuolumne, and already I think we're enjoying the scenes and the solitude. We started at Cathedral Lake's trailhead, and we've departed from that trail, and we are now on a use trail to Bud Lake. It's the trail that most climbers take to climb Cathedral Peak or other things in the Cathedral Range. We are soon going to get to the point where it peters out, and then we'll be completely off trail until day 3, which is pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
I already told you that.
I don't. We're gonna get back on a trail on day 3?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
As a newbie backpacker, I've had Erin carry almost everything. She's carrying all of our food, all of our water, all of our gear, and my backpack is just stuffed with cotton balls.
Sometimes I carry Eric too when he gets tired.
I get
he
tired
hops
really
on.
easily.
Yeah.
So let it be known, all viewers, that's what's happening.
Crusher.
We are gonna do a loop around the Cathedral Range, a lot of it off trail. Some of it I've done before, some of it I haven't. Either way, I'm excited to be on this trip. It's gonna be 4 days and about 25 to 30 miles, but with some decent elevation gain in there, including what we're doing right now. We are ascending to Echo Pass, where we're gonna then drop down into Matthes Lake. You'll see beautiful views of that, I hope, pretty soon, unless smoke obscures. So we are identifying trees. Erin, ever the naturalist. What do we think these two are? Because we're trying to figure it out.
Well, here we have some kind of 5-needled pine. We think it might be maybe a white bark pine. It smells good. It smells like Christmas time.
We found an adult one, quite large and beautiful, and it has these blocky bark that it says to look out for. So I think the ones with 5 needles, which I can see from here, are the western white pine. So we are ascending up to Bud Lake, our first stop, and the tree line is slowly receding. It's getting more and more granitic, and we have therefore more and more views. Looking behind us right now, we've got a glimpse of the high country to the north of Tuolumne, including a little peek at Caithness. There's Erin carrying all of our stuff, crushing, and we have a group of 2 other people who we're kind of leapfrogging with, 2 friendly old folks. We're also granted our first real good view of the ever stunning Coxcomb Peak and Unicorn Peak on the left there. Crossing the dangerous Bud Creek.
Oh God.
How does she do it?
Remember when I fell in the ocean?
Yes. We are approaching our lunch spot of Bud Lake along Bud Creek. Erin, are you excited?
It's my king.
Erin sees her first marmot.
My leash. King of the rock.
What a home this guy has. We made it to Bud Lake.
Yeah, boy. This is awesome.
Gorgeous here. There's Coxcomb across the lake and Echo Ridge on the right. We are now having lunch at Bud Lake. I was gonna set up a nice camera shot of us eating, but I'm kind of lazy, so I'm not going to. We got cheese and bread and meat and hummus, and most importantly, a beautiful view. Well, we are departing Bud Lake. It's about 1:30 p.m. We have maybe 700 feet of elevation to go, but we've stopped to admire how beautiful it is. And our destination is just over here. The end of our climbing today. Destination in view. There's Echo Peaks and Echo Pass. The pass is the sandy bit on the left. I expect that to be quite the crawl. And how are we feeling so far?
I feel like this is the final boss, and I'm ready to get it done.
It's the final boss of the day.
Yeah.
Day one.
Day one final boss, yeah.
How did you like Bud Lake, by the way?
I love Bud Lake. There's these little bugs. Do you know about the little bugs with the two legs that propel themselves forward?
Yeah, I didn't get any footage of them, but they're very cute. Maybe I'll get some footage of them later.
Yeah. I'll look it up and tell you what they are.
We also can see the Rogers Fire, which is I think up to 200 or so acres. It's burning on the other side of the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne, and it's really billowing smoke right now. Hopefully none of that will impact our trip too much. So far it's been fine. The bigger fire is the Red Fire, which we're about to see once we crest Echo Pass. We're now at the final boss. Little baby steps on the sand.
Who is determined to conquer all his enemies. Right now that enemy happens to be this sandy dune of death, but there, look at him go. Look at that. Look at those legs working.
Just going up sand with a big pack to the pass. Almost there. Made it to the saddle.
I'm not, but maybe.
Being melodramatic. We've made it all the way from down there. Erin got those thunder thighs.
Yeah, because I went up that
Dune of Doom. Really, they're just apples.
Erin, we're gonna take these apples up there, so the apples can see the view.
Some pretty good class 2.5, I'd say.
My hair is such a mess right now. I just can't even.
You're looking great. It's Echo Ridge up there and Unicorn Peak down there. Remember when it was towering above us. And are blessed with amazing views. Windy.
to pocket.
You can also see from here Parsons Peak, which we might be summiting later on this trip on day 3. Would be kind of wild. It's way out there. That broad topped one is Parsons Peak out there. You can also see Florence and Vogelsang Peak there. Florence in the back, Vogelsang in the front.
I can't look that cool. I have a half-eaten apple in my pocket.
Farewell Echo Peaks and Cathedral Peak. See you later. We're headed out in this direction. We are going not to that lake down there, but instead to Matthes Lake, which is on the other side of the Matthes Crest, which I think is the most beautiful formation in the park. And luckily we haven't had to contend with the smoke from the red fire. Hopefully that luck holds. So Erin, what do you think of the Matthes Crest?
Out of 10. Has a very nice shape to it.
How are you feeling about going down?
I feel actually very poorly about it. I'd rather go up.
Erin has been struggling on some of the scrambling, but it's okay. We're taking our time. We got all day.
Well, no, it's going away.
Well, we had all day. And we don't have that far to go. Erin's doing great. And the lighting is quite orange from the smoke kind of in between us and the sun. Every time I look up, it's just like, wow, all over again. Such a beautiful vista. And the Matthes Crest, of course. Awe-inspiring. Erin learns the magic. Grippy granite. Grippy granite. You got it.
I'm so far away.
Do it. Look at those. Oh.
I
Oh.
almost made it.
Chicken out.
Oh.
Buck buck. Oh. Look, they named that peak after you over there. Look.
Hey, at least I got a piece.
Coxcomb Peak. Big chicken.
Oh, look, it's a little waterfall.
Very peaceful. As the sun sets behind the Matthes Crest, it gets dark a lot earlier here than it would otherwise because of that hulking formation. But we are almost in the flatlands of the forest. We've made it all the way down from the saddle. There's Echo Ridge on the right. And now are just enjoying the shaded Matthes Crest in all its glory. Where are we?
At the lake!
We're not.
Yes, we are. We made it. We made it. Look. There it is.
All the way over there.
No. No. We made it.
We're almost there. Walking through, we have located our campsite. He's such a sloppy.
Now I'm on the tie back. Ew, eat your octopus.
Hey, don't make fun of him. He's sleeping between us. Leave room for octopus Jesus.
I'm in the frame.
We are eating gummy octopuses. We are in bed. We're waiting for the stars to come out. And my lips are probably glossy and shiny because I put on lip balm. That's my recap.
You got those fillers. That's your recap?
So, how was your first ever day backpacking?
It was good. It was challenging, but it was possible. My favorite part is when we scrambled the Echo Peak.
That was your favorite part?
And I had apples in my pockets. Yeah.
My favorite part was seeing the Matthes crest from an angle I had not seen it before. That was really nice.
He loves the Matthes crest.
It's Matthes.
I've been calling it Matthew. The hardest part was descending the granite.
Trusting the granite.
Yeah.
Trusting the slab. The hardest part for me is just my feet hurt really bad. I think from carrying almost no weight. And being on my feet all day.
That's what I thought.
It was a long day. My feet really hurt. But good night's sleep is in order. And I'm really looking forward to the sunrise on the Matthes crest tomorrow. I think that's going to be spectacular. This lake is maybe one of my favorite places I've ever camped already, and I've only spent a very short amount of time here. Part of that's my obsession with big cliffs and the Matthes crest. It's pretty amazing. I can't wait to see it tomorrow.
I'm excited to find birds tomorrow. We didn't really see any birds today.
Yeah. Just among granite.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night. Till tomorrow. Good morning. It is day number 2. Last night was a very, very peaceful, calm night. No clouds and no smoke in the sky as it is now. And so, because of the new moon, we got a beautiful view of the Milky Way above us. And now that it's morning, we get a beautiful view of the Matthes crest above Matthes Lake. We woke up around sunrise to get a view of that. But we were still really tired after the big day yesterday, so went right back to sleep. It's now about 8:30 a.m. and we are about to make some breakfast. I'll also say that the Matthes crest is freaking huge. I like at the widest angle I can put my lens at, it still barely fits the lake and the crest in frame. It's just stunning in person. It's really one of those things, like pretty much everything in Yosemite, but it's another one of those things that you can really only experience in person. You can't really capture it fully with a lens. So on my map here, I'll show you what we did yesterday and what we're about to do today. Yesterday we started at Tuolumne Meadows and we went up the Cathedral Lake Trail until about here, where we cut off and followed Bud Creek up to Bud Lake. From Bud Lake we went up to Echo Peaks and scrabbled Echo Peak number 8, I believe, and then went over this saddle of the Matthes crest, then down to Matthes Lakes. Today we're going to go over this little crest, past the Nelson Lake drainage, and over this mountain to Emeric. And then I believe after seeing a sunset at Emeric, we're going to do a night hike on trail up to Vogelsang. Should be in total about 5 or 6 miles with just under 2,000 feet elevation gain and just under 1,000 feet elevation loss. Meanwhile, Erin has been doing some sketching as well as some plant identifying.
I'm very intellectual and I'm a creative.
I'm not. I just like sitting by the water and thinking about nothing. That tall point out there is actually Coxcomb Peak. We're now seeing it from the exact other end that we did on our hike yesterday. It's so beautiful and peaceful by this lake. Really enjoying it. So what is this?
Western Eupatorium.
How do we know?
Because I'm a botanist. Also has hair tufts. Is it real hair tufts?
The green things?
These things. Not the green things. That looks like new sprouts. But right here on the end.
Okay, we're leaving Matthes Lake. We're all packed up. Are you ready for some off-trail?
Yeah.
Erin struggled to trust the granite yesterday. We'll see how it goes today. Come to our first obstacle in the saddle. Need to get up this wall of rock somehow. Everything's harder with a huge pack on too. We found a nice way up.
Ow! It slapped me.
Well, maybe not so nice.
Ow! It's poking me.
I had no problem.
Ow!
Erin's being a big baby.
Ow! It hurts.
It's a friendly tree. You're just being mean to it. Is it a squirrel or a chipmunk?
Looks like a chipmunk.
So, this is the pass that we're gonna go over. Right there. We've got to get there across all of this and somehow descend this cliff. So perhaps we'll go down this line to the meadow and then around and up. We've chosen to go careful. Erin is doing very fantastically. It's a little bit scary. I took it really slow myself, but for someone who's never been to Tuolumne before this, doesn't scramble or climb, and with a huge backpack on top of that, super good on this steep slab. We've made it to that first meadow. Crossing the meadow. This little frog.
Trying to get that clout.
Just walking through the forest.
Woo! We love the forest.
Okay, rank it. Forest, meadow, mountain.
In terms of having to walk it, mountain 0. Meadow, billion. Forest, just a little under that.
Wow.
But mountain gets 0.
You can tell we're very compatible. There's so many butterflies in these flowers. We be eating good. We struggled through some off trail and we have a lot more to go. We're not thinking about that right now.
I know, stop ruining my lunch,
We're
man.
thinking about food. We made it to the second meadow and we're eating, oh, that's the face of joy. We're eating pita and hummus and salami and 3 types of cheese. Good times. Okay, the one on the right, the big handsome boy, is Eric. The one on the left, the stubby little boat, is Erin. Who will win going down the rapids of evil?
Where that?
First to make it down the rapids.
I'm putting mine in first.
It won't help you.
It's terrible.
Well, you put it in the most stagnant part.
Leg! Your boat sucks, man.
Yours is going into a wall. It's going totally far away from the
No, look at
objective. This is sad.
Your boat is...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Let's go boat. Let's go boat. Let's go boat.
Oh no!
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, it's because you put yours in first. Mine got stuck. Oh, he has a friend though. He's next to that beautiful flower.
He was too chungus. That's the problem.
Nobody's too chungus. On our way up now. And just kind of tromping through the forest. I expect some route finding difficulties. Just because I don't know the exact way. I've never been here. We've got a cool framing of Matthes crest there. Oh yeah, Erin, crack climber foot jammer. Nice. Full pack and everything.
Woo!
Got a tad bushy there for a sec, but we're making good progress. Very beautiful. That's where we came from. I'm sure we'll have even a better view at the top. But as you can see out there, the crest where we woke up, and And the saddle that we first descended, that's where we first went down. And we began our ascent down at the meadow that you can just barely see down there. And in the distance, a familiar friend. You can out there see just the top of Mount Caithness. A very unique view of the mountains above Nelson Lake, and we now have to traverse this sandy saddle to descend to Emeric. And look at what's revealed. Vogelsang Peak and the Nightingale Arete. Both are stunning right now. And Mount Florence on the right. We did not make it, Erin. Erin, what are you looking at?
It's the lake! Emeric Lake! We made it! Wow!
You can just barely see a tiny bit of water out there. We have like 1,000 feet of off-trail descent to go, but hey, we made it.
This is Erin, back at it on day 2 with the e-dog. Here you can see he is approaching this rather wild chipmunk. Absolute lunatic. Oh, there he goes.
Erin, what do you think of the lake so far?
This is a good lake.
What makes a good lake?
It's easy to descend to.
So far.
It has a nice shape. It has beautiful colors.
It does have beautiful colors. I agree on all fronts. She loves the plants and animals. I love the rock. Tried to balance it on this trip. Erin is determined to go in the lake, even though we're in the shade and it's windy and it's really cold in the lake.
Making me colder when you say it like that. Don't say it.
I offered to move to the sun and she's like, nah. But we're at the lake and it's really, really pretty. We're eating good again. We got ramen with add-ins. How was it?
It's good. I was trying to do a ramen pool for you, but it didn't really happen.
I
How'd
appreciate
that?
the effort.
How'd that? It's pretty good.
We have cashews and peppers to put in our fancy ramen. And we're enjoying a fancy view. Our plan right now is to eat dinner and watch the sunset on Fletcher, Vogelsang, and Nightingale Arete there. And then once the sun sets, we're going to do a night hike to Vogelsang High Sierra Camp. I probably won't film for that because it'll be dark. So after I say quote unquote good night, then I'll see you at Vogelsang High Sierra Camp. the nightingale-arette as night approaches. I think with that, we're going to say good night. So for another big day, and we have another big day ahead of us tomorrow. For a night hike. Well, good morning. It is day number 3, and after some deliberation, we made the tough choice that we are not going to summit Parsons Peak today, but instead take it easy, which I think is well deserved. We've already done back-to-back days of over 2,000 feet elevation gain, mostly off trail, with full packs, so weren't really feeling like doing another 2,000 feet plus elevation gain off trail again, with an 11-mile day ahead of us as well. So we're going to enjoy some lakes. We're going to go from Fletcher Lake, where I am now, then up to Townsley Lake, and then finally across to Ireland. I'll show you on a map in just a second. So our plan now, instead of summiting Parsons Peak, is to go from Vogelsang and Fletcher Lake, where we are now, up to Townsley Lake, and then cross country over that ridge, and then to Ireland Lake. So we're going to go not quite following the trail, because I've done that trail before, and I want to do something new, but it's not going to be as extreme as that plateau up to Parsons Peak. And then tomorrow we'll descend into Lyell Canyon and follow Lyell Canyon all the way down to Tuolumne Meadows. But we're saying farewell to Fletcher Lake and Fletcher Peak now. Erin says that it's maybe her favorite lake on the whole trip.
It's a postcard. It's beautiful.
Is there anything in particular you like about it?
I like how much you can see in one look. I mean, look at that thing. You can see so much of it.
Erin likes Fletcher Peak. I really like the way that the lake sparkles in the sunlight. Anyhow, we are going to Townsley Lake now. We'll see how that is. I've never been. Up over this little mound.
Ew.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever noticed this before. We spotted, I thought it was a wind going over the pass, but it's a cascade.
This lake.
Knowsley Lake. We just had lunch, and now we're enjoying a butterscotch. How has the day been so far?
This has been the best day. This day has been remarkable. Fletcher Lake is amazing. Then we found that waterfall. It's not a waterfall, but I'm gonna say it is. We scrambled out that. This is Townsley? Townsley Lake? Pretty good, not as good as Fletcher, but you know, it's trying its best. His butterscotch is really good. I've had a really good day. I learned a lot about geology just now.
You have to go on one of my trips to get it. You can't get it on the video.
You don't just get this info for free.
No. I mean, unless you're Erin.
Good day.
Next, we are going to head cross country to Ireland Lake, which is not that direction. That's the direction of Fletcher, but through these trees. You'll see in just a moment. It's been a beautiful day. A little bit chilly and windy in the shade, but very nice. Not too smoky. Some pretty amazing dikes too. Beautiful little ponds, no name.
He doesn't like it though.
Nearly there. It's pretty smoky. Kuna Crest in view. We've gone over the pass. After some brief deliberation, we've decided that we want to go up Potter Point and try to camp up there. No idea if there's any good camping up there, but it's Yosemite, so there probably is. There's Potter Point out there. We'll see how it is. This landscape is unbelievably vast. I thought, oh, let's just romp right over to Potter Point. And then I measured on the map and it's like 2 miles away right now. But we're gonna go for it. Hopefully we don't get there too late. There's Mount Lyell out there. You can just barely see the Lyell snowfield.
It's Potter Point and not Potter with an S, so we're going to go with Potter Point. You can see his very nice footwork, really keeping those steps variable. Very important when you're out hiking.
Making our way. Where do you think this bone came from? It's pretty big. One of your victims. You didn't deny it.
I had to touch it. This thing just looks clean.
We've reached our lake where we're going to fill up water and then go over to the little nub that is Potter Point there. There's Amelia Earhart Peak. We're at our lake. Making our way to Potter Point. Been surprisingly easy so far.
It's so unnecessary.
Erin encountered a grouse.
That shit almost gave me a heart attack. Oh my god.
They do tend to just stay there camouflage until you almost step on them. That was a big boy.
Oh my.
Maybe that's why that bone was there earlier, from some dude who got scared to death by a grouse.
And then just this bone was left?
Only one bone.
Yeah.
Traversing the summit now. crazy views. Well, I'm really hungry and it's getting later, but wow, this place is spectacular.
Oh my god, I'm scrambling. I did it.
Nice. Rock climber.
Okay.
Just wow, it's so incredible here. You see all the Kuna Crest right across Lyell Canyon, all the way down. Well, Erin?
Look at that cheese pool.
Oh, wow. How was the day?
This was the best day of my life. Or at least one of them. It was really, really good.
I'm really glad.
Yeah. There were a lot of new moments for me. A lot of highs.
Sorry, the camera got distracted by the view.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you blame it?
No. Well, great wildlife action coming down. Wait, is this Potter Point or Potter's Point?
Potter Point.
Potter Point? Great wildlife action coming down to Potter Point. Oh, wait! Should I talk about the hawk?
Yeah, talk about that.
So I'm going to talk about this hawk. But before I can talk about the hawk, I have to talk about this squirrel that we saw. So we were walking, right? Just minding our business. And then in the shadows, a squirrel. Frozen. You would think it was a statue. And we just, it's like, oh, it's a pretty good squirrel. He's minding his business. And then out of nowhere, bam! A hawk comes flying out of the bushes. The squirrel scatters in panic. And the hawk flies away into the sunset. He didn't get the squirrel. Only I saw it. Eric didn't see it.
I looked away for a split second. And then I actually thought that, so there's the squirrel sitting there, and then suddenly, I look away and I look back, and there's a hawk flying away. I'm like, whoa, that was a hawk all along.
Yeah. It was a great Planet Earth moment.
Yeah, that was really neat. We saw a bone.
We saw a bone.
I got that on video, though.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot. We saw a frog today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was some kind of chorus frog we identified.
Yeah.
Chorus tree frog?
I forget.
It was a good day.
The sun is setting, and I feel like I really can't capture this place. It's so beautiful. We also have the most perfect campsite. It's like so amazing. Amazing flat spot with nice sand, a good bench to sit on, and most importantly, we are right next to what I think is the best viewpoint on Potter Point. Just look at the meadow down below. So gorgeous. Okay, we've packed up our campsite and about to take off. This is definitely one of the most wonderful places I've ever camped. But it's time to say goodbye. We are headed down there, 2,000 feet below, and all the way out to Tuolumne Meadows, about 9.5 miles. So we are descending off of Potter Point, and we have a good ways off trail down to get to the trail. We have to go down into this gully. The trail's on the other side of the creek down there, and I really have no idea what the best way there is, so we're just gonna route find it. Hopefully it's not too bad. You're excited?
I want to get to the meadow. I want to get to the river.
We are over halfway down to the trail. It's been exceedingly easy so far, just kind of walking through the forest. Well, we've made it to Ireland Creek. And we're back on trail. Hey, buddy. We've made it to the Tuolumne River. Beautiful as ever. And that there is Potter Point. Maybe you can even see where we were having our meals on the rock that was jutting out. We're camped right up there. Okay, so we just had lunch, and now we're packing up, getting ready to go. We have a lot of cheese left and not a whole lot else. So I guess we have cheese for snacks. We have maybe like 6 miles to go.
Oh.
Big jumper and big scavenger.
Oh God. Oh. This guy has done so much in the last 2 minutes. His legs are so strong, they hold him up. He probably does a lot of squats. Oh. We're his biggest fans. I hope he lives forever.
Big chomper.
Thunder.
All he does is chomp and get bigger thighs.
What else more is there? There's nothing more. Let me see those chomps. His nose is so small. Oh. Oh.
He's trying to intimidate us with his thighs.
Thighs up.
Well, we made it back to Tuolumne with its beautiful water. good with ice cream. Yummy.
Hello everybody. This is Erin coming at you again, but now it is post-trip. Our backpacking trip ended about a week ago, and I am no longer in Yosemite. I am a couple of states over now in Yellowstone National Park, sitting by the beautiful, oh, let me fix that, the beautiful Yellowstone Lake. So let's get into this. So let's see. Expectations of the trip. I have to say, the trip pretty much went exactly how I thought it was gonna go, honestly. I knew that there was going to be a physical and mental component that was going to be, it was going to be taxing in both of those areas. But I have to say, despite not ever having backpacked before, I've had multiple jobs now that were very physical. And so I think I've grown comfortable doing that kind of physical labor and knowing that there is that mental factor that you kind of have to, you get used to being uncomfortable, and you kind of lean into it. And so I think coming from that kind of background of just doing really physical jobs, I think that made it a little easier for me, even though I had never officially backpacked. And I will say there was one hour where I did the zombie walk because I was really tired, and at that point I was really checked out, and I am a little bit ashamed of it, but I think 1 hour of zombie walking for all the hours of walking that I did, I think is pretty good for a first-time backpacker. I think that's pretty good. I will also say that I have a much greater appreciation of Yosemite now, coming off of this backpacking trip. Well, I guess that was the third time I've been there. And the first two times I went, it was beautiful. I saw all the things that people usually see, El Cap and Half Dome and the waterfalls. So I don't know if maybe I have a much greater appreciation and love for that place because I was able to see features of the park people normally don't get to see because you have to backpack to them. I was also a lot more better informed in terms of how such geological features come to be. Shout out to my teacher out there, Eric. Got those free geo lessons. And that just changes it. It changes it when you actually have knowledge of where things come from and how they start and the different theories and just everything surrounding that place. When you actually look beyond just how it looks superficially and you kind of get into like the details, I think you come away much more invested. At least that's my philosophy. And I definitely do feel like I am much more invested now in Yosemite. And I look at it a little bit differently, a little bit better. My favorite part of the trip was Fletcher Lake. I'm not sure what it was about that area. That whole day really was that was awesome. I think because we stumbled upon a lot of new things together, like the waterfall that was nearby, and then Potter Point turned out to be super cool. So that last day was really great. And what I did not like was anytime I had to descend something. Most people aren't really looking for those ascensions, but I feel like that's where I get to crush it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm like running up mountains, but I can crush it if you give me enough time. The descending part was a lot more difficult for me because I didn't trust the granite, and I just had a hard time keeping my legs straight, and I just wanted to butt scooch my way down the mountains, which is possible, I guess, but probably would have taken a million years. So I'm glad there wasn't too much descending to do. It was really only the second day that was the beast. But overall, super memorable. Would I go backpacking again? Yes, I would. I think I would want to do it in a much more different environment. Yosemite is beautiful. The mountains I'll probably never see mountains like that again.
the color palette of everything. It's just, you know, you can't capture it on video. It's kind of the same thing with Yellowstone, right? Probably the same thing with all these national parks. I'm starting to realize it's just hard to capture these magical places on video. But I would go backpacking again, but maybe with less descending and more chipmunks, because the chipmunks were elite. Okay, it is starting to get kind of late here, and I have to get back to my dorm before all the night creatures come out. So that is that. Hopefully my editor is pleased with this. And yeah, okay, I'm out.